Welcome to Chaos Divided, your weekly dose of WholesomeHammer, where we explore the hobby, the game, and the lore of Warhammer 40k. We're your hosts, Snurgle and BlushingNoiseMarine. This week, I'm talking to Snurgle about her recent trip to the MiniWarGaming Bunker.
Ooh, I'm back.
It's like you were never gone.
Oh, really?
Well, no, from my perspective, we missed a bunch of weeks of recording, but from the listener's perspective, there was no breaks.
Seamless.
Our quote, I know we're letting people in behind the curtain and we're only 30 seconds in. It's a good episode. So we have our quote from The Lost and the Damned, which is, we had to go look this up, but this is what Chaos armies are called that don't have demon Chaos Space Marines or Dark Mechanicum in them. And it is indeed the very process of construction and creation foreshadows destruction and decay. The palace of today is tomorrow's ruin. The maiden of the morning is the crone of the night, and the hope of a moment is but the foundation stone of everlasting regret.
So deep.
So deep, so meaningful.
So I guess you could say that we are the lost and the damned.
Well, I generally feel lost and am probably very damned by most modern religions, so well,
I wouldn't have it any other way.
I wear that cap pretty proudly.
Yeah.
With pride.
Mm-hmm. So yes, I'm back. MiniWarGaming. Wow.
How was it? So, how long were you gone?
So I was gone. I left Monday evening, and I came back Sunday evening. So
that's
7 days.
Well, would you have it any other way?
Not. If I had my choice, I'd be there right now.
Snurgle confirmed moving to Ontario.
Oh, I don't know about that. Although, like, the Niagara region is beautiful. Holy crap! Like, to see it in the height of summer, it's just gorgeous. It's like the tropical part of Canada. It's absolutely amazing. Like, the skies are so clear and so vast. It's flat, but it's like it's so lush and green and tropical, and there's just wineries around. It's just it's breathtaking.
For our
although, like, asterisk, where the bunker is will not look like that. It's in a little bit of a rougher area of town, let's just say.
So the MiniWarGaming Bunker, for those that are not familiar with Canada or Ontario specifically, is a few hours south of Toronto. So the Niagara region is kind of where Ontario connects to the U.S. I think it's near Buffalo. Exactly,
yes. It
New
is,
York.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to give some geography for those that are not familiar with Canada, because who is?
It's about like 20 minutes away from Niagara Falls. So super close in that area.
So you spent 7 days.
Yes.
What are some of the highlights?
What does one do at MiniWarGaming for 7 days?
Did you play any Warhammer?
I didn't.
I
know.
You're blowing people's minds right now. Isn't that why you go?
Not this time around. That's not the reason why. Let's just say that, like, the last time we went, so for context, if you don't know, I went to MiniWarGaming last year and played in some battle reports, 3 of them, and then I got to meet Dave, like, in a surprise. He came to the bunker, and him and I hit it off really well and became really good friends. And throughout this year, we've been chatting on and off, and there was always something like planned for August, but wasn't quite sure what was going to happen. So here's a little bit of drama. I didn't actually think I was going to go to MiniWarGaming. There was a little bit of a, let's just say, okay, the truth to be told, there was an idea floating around, and it was going to be a 100,000 point Space Marine video. Yeah, exactly. And I was like, at first I was like, oh, that's kind of like, okay, do tell more. And the more I thought about it, I just like, it's not for me. And I can go a little deep, but like for the past 8 months, like it has been a little rough for me personally, but and mentally. And so I just thought that like I don't think it would be fair if I went and try to do a video and then try to fake a smile because and then it would just be seen as a fake smile because I don't think I could hide my distaste for Space Marines.
Can you be honest with me? Can you actually tell the difference between different Space Marine squads?
No. I know what Aggressor looks like because I know that those guys are really tough. But Intercessor's like, no. I've heard the name. What's the other one? Space Marine is a Space Marine.
There's the plasma ones, but then there's the different plasma ones, and there's the Melta ones, and I don't know.
Yeah, and that's just it. Like, how am I appropriate for this video? So, I let Dave know, and he, in Dave's way, he made magic happen, and he's like, "Okay, scrap that. Let's do Nurgle." And I was like, "Oh, I can do Nurgle." As soon as he said, like, let's do a video of Nurgle, I was like, oh, I would love that. I would actually really love to talk about Nurgle. Like, let's do some Nurgle love. And that kind of just happened that way. And even up to, like, almost the night before, or even the day of, I actually didn't think it was going to happen. Like, it just didn't dawn on me until I was on the bus to the airport. I was like, holy shit, Nurgle. I'm going to MiniWarGaming. Here we go. And got there, and Dave picked me up at the airport in Hamilton, and I'm not gonna lie, I was actually really nervous. Like I was just like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, am I really here? And as soon as we arrived at the bunker, I was like, it felt good. He's talked about it, and I agree with it. It's like a second home. It's probably one of my most favorite places to visit now. I just absolutely love it there. And so on this drive there, he knew my birthday was coming up on August the 9th, and that was when we were going to start filming for this Snurgle video. And he asked me very, very kindly what was something I wanted to do for my birthday. And there was actually something that had been on my mind for the longest time, and that was returning to the Butterfly Conservatory. I'd gone there back in like 2007 and 2008. Wow. And so I wanted to return, and it just so happened to fit really well with this video. So how it was kind of structured was throughout this whole week was Dave and I kind of did like a corn day. We celebrated corn 8/8, and as we like to call it, walking the Eightfold Path. So we did that, and then for a couple days after that, we did some filming. And again, going into this, I didn't know what to expect. People would ask me, like, what are you going to do there? I was like, I don't know. I'm just kind of go with the flow. And I did want to, like, set up some games, like, with Josh and stuff, but just timing didn't fit well. So, yeah. Like I said, just going with that flow. And it was great to experience behind the scenes. If I ramble, you can just cut in and ask any question that you. Oh,
you've been rambling for a while, so I've just been letting you go.
Oh, sorry. I meant to like pre-warn the audience. This will be like a gush session. Like I'm just gonna be gushing about it because I absolutely love mini wargaming and what it is, and I would love if there was more places like this throughout the world, because I think it really puts in the ground the love that we have for this hobby and what it can transpire into. Like the amount of work and detail that Dave and Matt have put into this company, into this building, into this project, into this studio is just it's out of this world, and it's something I've never experienced and seen before. And so I just encourage people to visit your local Warhammer world, or maybe your play on tabletop, or if Tabletop Tactics has like a tour. Like I think
they have a bar now. Actually, I think
Tabletop Tactics has a bar.
Yeah, I think their new studio, they've talked about it. They have like a whole game space with a bar built in, and like,
and that is so cool,
right?
Like, imagine going and hanging out, and so
maybe paint the picture for some of our listeners.
What it's like.
Yeah, like what, because if you watch a battle report, you can kind of see like the rooms are decorated, they're themed, but like when you kind of get out of the car, you're walking in, like what does it look like? How do you feel? What is the experience of going to the bunker?
Okay, so when you do pull up, there is a parking lot, and it's just this rectangle brick building with this big green die sign, MiniWarGaming, MiniWarGaming Bunker, and it doesn't look like much from the outside. And I think that's the best illusion to have, because when you walk through the door, especially the side door, and I've described it before, but it's like you're being transported into a Warhammer world. Like and when I say like every detail is touched, like I'm talking floor to ceiling in like gray walls. You feel like you're in a ship. There's like thousands of bolts to the wall. Like it doesn't feel like any detail is missed. It's clean. It's beautiful. It's pretty basic, but it's like that's kind of the feel you want for Warhammer. It's not cluttered. It's very clean and precise. The shelving can be a little cluttered with all their stuff, but when you walk in, and then when you walk down these corridors, it's just like you feel like a space marine. Tall ceilings and just like narrow walkways, and you just can imagine like the music being on, and so it's separated into 3 levels. So when you enter the side door, it's like the main level, and that's in the back where the tournament hall is. And when you enter that, it's just a big open space that they have set aside for tournaments. This time around, they're kind of setting it up for filming. So it's a little different. So they have like a little section for interviews and stuff like that, and they have their fancy lighting. But again, huge detail, all the bolts. There's signs, there's banners to remind you are in the Warhammer universe. Even the Aquila on the wall. And
gross. Get that out of here.
Well, I'll share a little story, but and then the bottom level is a cafeteria. So you'll go down the stairs, and then there's a sink and a vending machine and a big table for people to kind of gather around. And then further down the hallway is the studios, and they're breathtaking. They're absolutely gorgeous. Again, floor to ceiling, details, nothing's missed. And yeah. I can't do it justice in the words that I speak, because it is a feeling. It's almost like you're being taken to church. He's like, oh my god. And then the top level is set aside for the bunker, which is like their idea of a like hostel Airbnb. And they have rooms where you can sleep, and then they're decorated. So last year we stayed in the Imperial Suite, and then this time around I stayed in the barracks. And so it was a little unnerving to be in such a Imperial-esque
Is there
area.
a chaos room?
Not really. I even asked Dave, I was like, so where's the heresy? There's
Right?
a work room. There's like a Space Wolf room, a Mortal Realm room, but not chaos. And I think you kind of imply like it would be too creepy or scary for people to sleep in. I was like, no, that's what I want.
You could go like more like Slanesh. You could just like very like silky, comfortable.
Oh, like the
like a little like pleasure palace, like lava lamps and like
Lace.
you know. There we go.
I don't know if that's like a sleeping headquarters or.
I don't.
No,
That's Slanesh will do as Slanesh does. She thirsts for something.
Oh my god. So I did implant that idea into Dave, so maybe in the future there'll be a
Get them space wolves out of there. We nobody need that.
Yeah.
You're out.
Yeah.
That sounds very cool though.
Yeah, so that's how like the buildings kind of separate, and there's all these like doors and corridors and secret passages that you can find. Like this door will take you downstairs and lead you to somewhere else. So it's like it's also a maze, and I'm sure if I was a little girl and I was feeling very adventurous, I'd probably sneak around and and find little hideaways. But I'm not a little girl anymore. But anyway, so this time around, we drop off my bags in the barracks, and then Dave asked, did I want to see the table? I was like, of course. So we go downstairs and we go to the tournament hall, and there it is. I think it was 4 tables full of Nurgle, and it was glorious. Like, I felt like time just kind of slowed down. I was like, oh, wow, look at all of these models. And the longer I stared, the more intense it became. Like, it was like all these converted models and old models I've never seen up close, like plague bearers. I got to see the little metal plague bear. They're so happy. And like old Nurglings, and yeah, their Nurgle collection's very impressive.
That's awesome. You're almost describing a religious experience, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think so. I
Did you feel Father Nurgle? Is that like...
Yes, I did. I think it's no surprise that I love Nurgle, and there's many reasons why.
I had never thought that.
Why?
I would have never imagined.
And I guess so. I walked into Nurgle's church and I prayed.
Nurgle's garden was right there. You could have gone there.
Oh, why did I go church?
Right? Why you gotta make it weird?
Yes, I walked into Nurgle's garden, and I felt like my heart was just full. I was just full of love and full of just interest in what was happening, and I think it was then that it really dawned on me that I was there, and I got to celebrate Nurgle and why I love it so much. Yeah, Nurgle will always mean something to me. And
I feel like we talked about this a little bit in our very first episode about like Warhammer kind of brings this feeling of like intense like presentness. Like it fills you with a very deep connection to the moment, and it sounds like you kind of like ascended to maybe a higher plane of like that feeling. But I think it really culminates a lot of like what we like when we talk about things like we use the word like wholesome hammer, and we talk about like, you know, wargaming as wellness. Like those are not often topics that really combine together, but you know, you're really talking about that like that intense feeling of presence in the moment that can only come from like when you're talking about like seeing all of these Nurgle miniature, like it's also an appreciation of like at that point thousands of hours of like love and care. Like, you know, when we talk about like the concept of like the warp, it almost like there is like a conflux of like emotionality and just like humanity hitting you as to like every single thing there has been like touched and loved and cared for by someone.
Yeah, and like that's why the MiniWarGaming Bunker is so impressive, because it's not just Matt, and it's not just Dave. It's the entire community that has like helped build this sanctuary. And like a lot of it's like models that were given or just wanted to add to the collection, because everybody wants to like contribute, and this was just a contribution of the entire community.
Did you contribute a model?
I did bring my models.
Did you leave one behind, or did you
oh, you know what, that's such a good idea. Can I go back? I should have. I did.
Well, you'll have to go back.
Okay, there is one model I did leave behind. Okay, it's not technically a model, but it's something that we can talk about. Well, yeah, okay, so it was...
You run it through like an NDA agreement right there, like, did I? Did I sign something?
There's a funny NDA story. Okay, so was it we're filming at the bunker, and it's just Dave, myself, and the cinematographer. Anyways, Matt comes through, and he's got like armful of like boxes, Warhammer boxes, obviously. And he walks past me. I think I'm fixing a model or something, and just kind of like nod to him, like hi. And then he turns to his side to me, trying to hide the boxes, and he goes, "Do you have an NDA?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Then don't look." Like leaves the room. I was like, "Don't worry, I didn't see what it was." Not part of the NDA group. Sorry.
You're not cool enough for that. I don't know what to call that group, but
I've heard it's like a club.
I think you're cooler than that. You're not cool enough for their group because their group's not that cool.
Is it? Are they not? Oh, don't.
I don't know. I wouldn't know one
what
way or
is
the other.
Cool? I don't know. Anyways,
we're all big nerds.
Yeah. So I did leave a model with Dave. So on August the 8th. Okay, so it's kind of funny that I did talk to someone about this, and he brought it up in such a way. I got to go to Dave's house and hobby with him. So someone like kind of put it in a way, I was like, oh, so it's just more than business. I was like, well, no, like... Anyways, Dave's my friend, and he brought me to his Zen zone, as he likes to call it. And he's creating a game called Armor Bash. And the concept of this, I love this concept so much. It's taking toy cars, or like go to Value Village, or like even your kids' old toys that they don't use, take like a car, and soon you'll be able to buy kits and that they're printing off, and you'll be able to kit bash these cars and make them really epic, and you can add guns to them and window coverings and barrels and just like make it look Mad Maxy essentially. And so I got to do that. He brought me to the garage, and he had like this paper bag full of car toys, dumps it onto the table, and he goes, "Pick one." I was like, oh, I see like truck and Jeep and truck. And then at the last of it, there's this train. And I was like, well, I'm going to go for the train. And I made a murder train. And
Amazing.
it was so much fun, like to like kit bash something that's not like a model, but like something like that was a lot of fun. And I know he's making some rules for the game so that it's something that you can do with your kids, and like because his kids were totally into it. And so he asked if I was going to take it home, and honestly, I don't think I had any room in my bag. So I was like, you know what? It's past your birthday. Here, you take it. So he has my murder train.
Amazing.
I did leave something behind.
You know what? This actually, I'm going to take a tangent for a second.
Okay.
Because this reminds me, it's a bit of a cute story, but the like little community RTTs we do here. One of the guys was building a custodes army, and he didn't have time. I don't think the models came late or whatever. So you bought like these little gold toy cars.
Yes.
To use as like some of the models. And now our trophy is one of these little gold cars. And now that you're telling me this, I'm like, this is clearly like, we need to like trick out our little trophy car in like some like guns and spikes.
Yes.
And I'm like, as soon as you were talking about that, I was like, we're gonna make that thing the best trophy car ever. And it's like a dollar store little golden like dinky car. And I like already am loving this idea.
Yeah. Do it. Gotta do it. And like I was saying, his kids were into it. Even his wife was doing it. And like, I guess his wife's not someone to do stuff like that. And even Dave was surprised. So it was like a really fun way to bring the family together and just be goofy, be silly. It doesn't matter what it looks like, and just glue it on and then prime it, paint it, good to go. So
I'm loving this like twisted metal energy.
It 100% was that. And I even got to teach Dave how to do blood splatter, so that was an honor.
How are you a corn guy? You don't do blood splatter? That seems like
he was just gonna stipple it. I was like, no, use like the toothpick, and like showing him it depends on the type of paintbrush. That matters a lot too. You want like really hard bristles. So but yeah, it was fun.
That sounds like a blast.
Yeah.
What are your other memorable moments from your trip?
Okay, so we'll talk about the Snurgle video. So this was an experience I've never had before. It was so professional. I'd heard about this this camera guy. You may be familiar with his work. He is the one that filmed the 144,000 point Chaos Army showcase and the Orc showcase. And these videos have like millions of views. So this guy knows what he's doing. And I was really excited to meet him. I heard about him, but I didn't know what to expect. And I was really curious to see what his process was. So it was Wednesday morning, got up early from the barracks, went downstairs, and there he was starting to bring stuff in. So I helped him bring his stuff in and watched him set up. And like the equipment he had was like, oh, chef's kiss. Like he had gimbals. He even had the back strap and like the shoulder strap so he could like brace this gimbal on him. His gimbal camera had all these gears, and like he's a professional. And obviously I'm just a small town Snurgle, like that is like not my realm. So it was just like jaw dropping to see like the how professional he was. It was beautiful to see. So first day we just did a lot of B-roll. Dave and I are just goofing off, just being normal, just I guess be normal but with a camera in front of us kind of thing, just kind of goofy,
normal adjacent.
Yeah. And showed off our models, and I brought so I come to the table, right? It was the Monday night, and I'm looking at this like sea of green, and I'm already like, wow, my models are gonna stand out like like crazy. And so
For those of you who are not followers of Nurgle Snurgle, green is not always the most common color.
I don't even know if I took anything green. Oh no, I took a Demon Prince. He was green. But so yeah, we set up like this little corner on the tables and put my stuff there, and it's just like bam, just color. And
well, because
so,
your Nurgle, I guess, you know, to explain for our listeners, like your Nurgle is very colorful.
yeah,
Like your beasts of Nurgle are beautiful, but they are like rainbows of color.
yeah.
You know, even your is it Rodigus is the blue one?
No,
Or is it your Great Unclean one?
That's just my
it's
Great
the blue
Unclean.
one.
Yeah.
Is like this like bruised, bluey, gorgeous, like looks like a. I was gonna say a big blueberry, but blueberries aren't that dark. But like green is not like when you think of that like trudgy brown green like Death Guardy look to Nurgle, like that is so far from like the way most of your Nurgle looks that like for those of you that are listening, like go look on Nurgle Snurgle's channel and just like be in awe of the beauty of Nurgle. But your Nurgle is a very different Nurgle from a lot of others.
Mm-hmm. And I love it. And
I also love it.
I did touch a little bit about that in the video. I don't know if it's going to be edited in, but I do talk about like I've always appreciated like poison dart frogs in the sense of that they warn you with their bright colors, I'm poisonous, don't touch me. If you touch me, it's your own fault. So I always loved that. Like a lot of my models are inspired by nature. And so I took that inspiration. I just love color. Like it was just so different, and yeah, it was just like, I guess I went Slaneshi in the sense of like, how bright can I go?
No, but it's even like, it's almost like a Zinch level of like rainbow for some models. Like it's like, but still feels very Nurgle. Like I've never looked at your models and been like, oh, that looks out of place. It just looks like, it looks very different, but in like the best possible way.
Yeah.
I'm gushing a little bit about you right now. But yeah, you don't lose that like Nurgle-ness.
I still add the guts and the slime and the gore.
And the blood and the teeth and the...
And the broken bones and the toenails.
Of course, the broken bones.
And the pus.
What? Is it even Nurgle without pus?
Yeah. And I also took a very special model with me, which was gifted to me. It was the Nergamar, the ultramarine Nurgling. So I took that with me because I wanted to like show it off. It was from Happy Krieger Painting on Instagram, and he was very kind to paint that for me. And I felt only right to share this beautiful model, this Nurgle model. And so I took him with me. And so yeah, the first part of the day, just filming B-roll and just feeling comfortable. And then we were off to the butterfly conservatory, and I know it's strange, but I feel like it fit really well because it was like walking into Nurgle's real garden. It was just absolutely breathtaking. There was actually one moment when we first walked in, because we have the Brandon who was filming, he was with us. We have microphones, and it was actually kind of cute because as Dave and I were walking through, there's some kids that would be like, "Are you filming? Is this a TV show?" Yes, little one. Anyway, so I'm really excited. I've been wanting this moment for a while. And okay, so for those who haven't been to this butterfly conservatory, which I learned is the largest in North America, it's just this giant dome full of tropical plants and foliage and thousands of butterflies. And like surrounding it are all these beautiful trees and in a garden. So it's breathtaking. So we walked through the door, and I tell you not, I looked at all the plants, and I saw hundreds of butterflies, and I started to choke up, and I was like, my back is turned to the camera, and I was like, I cannot start crying. Like, Snurgle, you gotta be strong in this. And like, I luckily like calmed down just a little bit, but like, oh, it was pretty powerful. Like you talked about walking into Snurgle's garden. That's how I felt going into this, and
Aww.
it was just Dave and I just walking, and we just followed the path, and you can see all these butterflies landing on people, and people are just taking all these pictures, and Dave and I are just chatting along the way, and all of a sudden he points at my shoulder and he goes, look, and I look, and a butterfly was there, and my heart just swelled up so much, and then another one landed on me, so it was very like a fantastic moment. And then they started to land on Dave, and then they started to land on Brandon, so it was just a lot of beautiful moments, and I can't wait to see them captured in this video. And then we left, and we just kind of did some more chatting and filming, and then we got back to his Zen zone and did some filming of the hobbying, and then I kind of helped him move a like china cabinet hutch type of thing randomly. So like they wanted to get like a display cabinet for their models, right? Because they didn't really have a space for it, and I offered them to, I'll help. Sure. And we get there, and it's like Dave finds out that it's 88 inches tall, and he's like, yep, sold, we'll buy it, of course. So we're like, we just need help. I was like, oh, I'll help. And so we get there. Oh my god, this thing was massive. And it's like hardwood, glass on the doors, glass shelving, and luckily it came into like 2 pieces, but it just like how we had to like carry it out. There was like railings right in front of the door that like forced you to turn. So I was like, oh man, we're gonna have to pivot this thing in the air kind of thing. So his wife and his girl was there, but there was no way we could all 4 do it. So somehow Dave and I did it together. It was just like, it was something else. Like there was one part, or there was a couple parts that like I remember just staring at him, like locking eye contact of like, we've got this, like as we're carrying this like couple 100-pound piece of furniture, like we've got this, we got this. And we got in the truck, and we, oh my god, it was like, that was also a religious experience. Just like lifting something heavy. But anyway, so, and then the next day we did some more filming, and that was more like the interview process, and that was probably my most nervous part, like to have like the camera locked on me, like the lights locked on me, and then like being interviewed, because I've never
You're
been
old hat at that by this point. We talk every week.
I've never done anything like that.
Yes, you have. This is what we talk.
Nothing like that. Nothing like that. Nothing like that.
It's the same thing.
So we did that, and then his family came by. We did some more filming with his family, which was super cute. I really hope it's like in the video as well, because watching Dave and his mom and their dynamic together was super cute. Oh, my heart melt. But yeah, that was the film process, and that was it. Like it was over, and it was like a relief. Like,
so you went to MiniWarGaming.
Mm-hmm.
and you did not record a battle report.
I know.
What? How does that even? How do you do that?
Because I don't even know if it was really about the battle report, and
I'm mostly joking here. I'm just
okay. Because like, I understand that like yes, mini wargaming is associated with battle reports, but I'm really enjoying the direction that Dave is going in, and that is showcasing the people behind the paintbrush and the people behind the dice, and seeing how wargamers live. Like, that's really cool to start seeing who these people are. They're just you and me. I'm just like anybody that's listening. Like that, we're just people, and we just want to do cool stuff. And it's learning like, where does that come from, and what person is behind the screen. And I'm, like I said, I'm loving that direction, and I'm excited to see who else he does and who else he spotlights. And I guess this was just my time. I don't know. It's still so surreal.
Before we got started, I feel like you were like glowing.
I still
like when we first like got on, you were like you looked like you were like still like euphoric. And I mean, you still 100%. Look like that now, but it was like you're like definitely carrying that positivity with you.
Yeah, because I mentioned it in the beginning of this episode that I was kind of going down a rough patch, and I'll be very, very honest that I didn't know where I was going or where I was headed or what I wanted to do. And I just lived life in doubt. I doubted myself. I doubted everything I ever did. And it gets very toxic at that point. And after the last couple months and adding with being at MiniWarGaming and like feeling the inspiration, feeling the creativity, I felt like I shed all the doubt. I shed all of the fear that I had before. And obviously like MiniWarGaming wasn't exactly everything to do with that, but it played a big part in that. And I appreciate them so much, and I appreciate the opportunity that I had to go out there. And I want others to shed their own doubt as well. Because like, yeah, it weighs you down. It takes you away from your potential. And coming back and having kind of like this new mindset has me very excited. And it is very freeing to be free of that doubt and fear. So I think that's what's glowing.
Well, so long as this doesn't mean you're like taking over the world or something with this newfound confidence,
I would
I'm
never.
I think I'm very excited to see. No, it's interesting. Like talking about like the doubt and the fear and the shame and things like that. Like, I very much, not so much when I came back to the hobby, because I feel like I dealt with a lot of those feelings. But I remember being a teenager, and it was like, I was like embarrassed that I played Warhammer. Like it was like something that I like didn't want to talk to other people about. It was like you kind of had to like, you had to know. And I still see people kind of dealing with that now, where it's like, you know, when you're in a game store and you're talking, people are so excited and animated, and like, you know, even if you're like go to a restaurant at lunch or something, and it's kind of like people are hushed about it, like it's like they don't want anyone to kind of like hear like that's what they do. So like I think there is a lot of that people are dealing with, and it's kind of unfortunate because like it's something that, you know, like we've been talking about, like it's filled with like positivity and love and creativity and passion and excitement, and then like to not being comfortable sharing that with the world just kind of makes everything a little bit dimmer.
100%. And it gets dimmer and dimmer. Like it doesn't get better. I think there is those talks, like there was that Stephen Box video from MiniWarGaming about talking about shame, what they went through as well. And I'm sure a lot of people who are listening can share the exact same stories, is that shame and that doubt and that fear. And I think right now is like a great time to just shed it, because it holds you down. It doesn't have to be that way. Like, for example, on my way back home, when I was flying through Hamilton, obviously I've got this giant case with this corn symbol, and it looks like a bomb case. Like it doesn't. I can only imagine how other people feel when I walk through with this like tank of a case. Anyways, so I get to the front desk and going to check my luggage, and one of the ladies is just like, "Are you sure that's gonna fit?" I was like, "Yeah, I've checked it all." And she's like, "Okay," and I could see like her eyes were kind of like, "What's this all about?" And I was like, I can open it for you guys. And I put the case down onto the scale, and I crack it open like it's like I'm like Pulp Fiction or something. And I open up the case, and I kid you not, there was at least 5 ladies that started to crowd me. And I open it up, and they see my models, and they go, "Oh my goodness." And I'm like picking them up, and they're looking at it. 2 of the girls are on their phone. They're like, "What's this called?" I'm like, "Warhammer 40K." And they're like, "What?" And they're looking at pictures, and like, "Oh my, this is actually kind of cool." And like, my son would be into this. And I'm just like, yeah. And like,
sounds like they're a little into it too. Like,
yeah. One girl, she looks at me and she's like, "You're really smart, aren't you?" I was like, she's like, I've seen people like you. You're very smart. I was like, sure. So I closed up the case, and I went to go meet up with Dave, who was just waiting with Gaz, and I show up, and I'm like, I think I just recruited 5 ladies to Warhammer 40K. And it's just like stuff like that. Like, I don't have shame anymore. I want to share this with every type of person. I think people are going to be more intrigued, especially when they're presented it this way. Like, there are personalities that play this. These type of people play. Like, it's not just. I think we're like right now breaking the norm of what a Warhammer wargamer is. It's not what people have kind of made fun of, like someone in the basement and like eating Cheetos and.
Well, I feel like we all kind of have that, like the like neck beard, acne,
yeah,
greasy, like, and like not acne in the like you have like a condition, but in the like you just don't like clean yourself very well, and you're
you're smelly,
and like
no, we're not.
It kind of has that like.
I think that's what the shame is. I think
5 on a GT, maybe some of us are getting a little ripe.
Oh, I get ripe. I know. I was like, I'll smell and be like, my deodorant's not working. Oh shit. But it just happens because like it's an event. It's a sport essentially.
Sport is big. I'm not.
I know it's a stretch, but I'm gonna use this.
No, it's the same as like if you're.
How about TT sports? Tabletop sports.
It's kind of like esports where it's like, you know what, there is athleticism there, but it's not the same type of athleticism.
Hey, it's a grind to do 4 or 5 rounds, okay?
It is. Well, having done 4 rounds in a day, that's a.
Oh my God.
I don't.
Yeah, never again.
I did that last year, and I don't know how I could barely walk the next day. So.
Yeah, but yeah, like I like this whole new thing. Is like. These are the type of personalities that actually play Warhammer. These are the type of people that actually play Warhammer. I'm not just a wargamer. I'm also a chef. I like this and I like that. I like to roller skate. I like sometimes heavy music to lo-fi. Like there's more than just I paint Warhammer.
Well, and I think that's like we've talked about this, like kind of Warhammer being on the cusp of like that kind of mainstream acceptance, and I think like you know, and I think there's going to be challenges within the community and within the hobby as well, is like making sure those doors stay open and that you don't get kind of dragged into that like, oh well, I have my friends and my buddies and I know what Warhammer is, and you have that preconceived notion of it, because realistically, like I think 10 years from now, like Warhammer, the community is going to be a much more diverse, interesting, exciting, bigger.
It already is. Like there's so many people I've never even heard of, like Instagram handles, and they've got huge followings.
And I think like bigger events, which is honestly like we all benefit from.
Oh, I can't wait.
We've talked about like starting something locally as well, because like again I think there's a desire for it. People want to travel, they want to meet other hobbyists, they want to meet other players, they want opportunities to share this thing they love. And like no, it's not every fiber of their being, they're not like completely like obsessed and addicted to the point that they're not like also unique individuals. But also you want to bring that uniqueness, like when we talked about like how you paint Nurgle, like that's your unique perspective that no one else has. And like there's a certain amount of like you can see a picture on Instagram, but like to see your Great Unclean One in person and get up close and like feels different than like a picture of it does. And getting to share those experiences with other people and getting together, what you had at the bunker is something I think like we all would love to have more often in our lives, is those moments of like connection and shared experience and shared passion.
Yeah, and like and anybody can really do it. Like the how Blood God and I went to the bunker was just booked it and just went and then met them. Like that's essentially it.
So when are we booking Chaos Divided into the bunker? But
when do you want to go? You free next week? Actually, I can't next week.
Next week. Next week's a little busy.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out, though. We'll get there. You're talking it up. I'm like sitting here like, why didn't I come with you? I'm kidding. It sounds like it was a wonderfully Nurgle moment for you.
I felt the little Nurgling inside of me is full of joy.
Now, see, I thought you were like 10 Nurglings in a trench coat is what you actually were underneath. 7?
Yeah.
I walked right past that one. I deserve that.
Let's just say there was a lot of Warhammer chat throughout the entire week. Lots of 8s, lots of 7s, lots of Eightfold Pass, lots of...
Any 6s? Did little Slanesh come out, or
no? I think beat Slanesh. Sorry.
See, oh, gross.
I think Dave secretly loves Zinch, but doesn't want to admit
What is there to love?
The game.
Oh.
Okay. I will share, and I don't know if he's gonna be listening to this, and I'm sorry if like this is embarrassing, but I did play one game against Dave, and we played chess.
Ah.
Go on. He checked me with his queen without realizing my queen was set up to get his queen. And I sniped his queen, and the laughter and the look on his face was priceless. So I kind of beat Dave at chess.
Good. Love it.
Good. we did so we did want to play a game, but it just didn't work out. So
I mean, it sounds like you were having a ton of other fun, a ton of other great experiences. It sounds like Warhammer infused it, and you didn't even necessarily have to play the game, which is really like awesome.
What this hobby is essentially about. Like, we're lucky that we have like Warhammer that is the glue to connect us all. And I get to chat with you every week, and I get to meet people, and that's essentially what I love, is just meeting all these people and connecting with them.
You had told me once, I don't know if you remember this, but that you had never felt like you belonged to a community before Warhammer.
Yes. Yeah. 100%.
So it kind of sounds like, this was a time for you to really like celebrate that feeling of community most of all.
And
because realistically,
it feels great that like I can be myself. Like the Snurgle you see online, that is who I am. And I think it's such a gift. And because truth to be told, like I was someone that would always hide myself, even from my friends. Like they wanted to get together, I'd be like, nah, I'm busy, and I'm just like at home by myself, right? I just didn't want to really be around people. But now that I've embraced that, I've learned to like grow more in this community, and they've embraced it, and they've embraced my weird, chaosy love for Nurgle, and I get to be kind of weird. That's so cool.
That is awesome. And it's honestly a little bit beautiful.
Yeah, I feel like I was a beast of Nurgle. So if you don't know what happens with the beast of Nurgle, they want to hug everything. They want to love everything. They want to make everything their play toy. And what ends up happening is they get close to their subject, and then they suffocate them to death, or they slobber them to death. And then these puppies essentially get really sad, and then they get a seed of resentment because everything that they get close to dies or is no longer playable. And so what they do is they start to cocoon themselves, hide essentially, and they grow in this seed of resentment, and then they're born as a plague drone, a beautiful butterfly plague drone. And that's how I feel. I've bursted through my cocoon, and I'm now this schmetterling.
That is the most Nurgle description of a beautiful metamorphosis I can imagine. And we might need to work on Nurgle's poetry a little bit, but I think we got the metaphor.
I hope you're able to follow along.
The emerging as a bloat drone is maybe a weirder culmination.
No, plague drone.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, that was
plague drone.
There's our friends.
You know what? We started with butterflies, and I guess we're kind of ending with butterflies.
Yes.
In a weird way. I guess angry, resentful butterflies.
They're still beautiful.
Yes.
But yeah, that was my mini wargaming experience, and I don't think it will be my last. Nah, you and I will be down in the studios, rolling some dice, saying, "Hi, I'm BlushingNoiseMarine from Chaos Divided, and I brought my Ember's Children." And I'm Snurgle from Chaos Divided, and I brought my Undivided. So practice.
I mean, that does sound like a blast. And I would love to do that at some point. But also, it honestly just sounds like something worth doing, just to be there. Even, it's not necessarily about the video, it's about the, like, really, I think that sense, that feeling of connection and community sounds like the culmination. That sounds like your butterfly moment coming out of this. And I'm, I hope I get to experience it someday.
It's wonderful to be around people with so much passion. It's intoxicating.
We're gonna have to up our ante. I feel like our just like casual, have fun. We gotta get good.
We're being natural. We're having fun. We're sharing our passion.
I meant like get good, like GIT, GUD, like Dark Souls. Like we just gotta get better. Not like that we're not currently good. Just so we got.
How'd you spell it?
You never seen like Dark Souls,
no.
the Get Good?
All I see is you died.
Yeah, because you didn't get good. That'd be the way to stop dying is to get good.
Oh, I forgot to try that.
Yeah. Well,
Might
anything else you want to bring up about your?
I think I rambled far enough.
You rambled. I mean, there's going to be lots of videos.
Yeah.
I guess we'll say check out MiniWarGaming.
Yeah.
In the coming weeks.
I hope so. Like you can never predict of like when or if these videos are going to be done. I do know that the guy that filmed it is also editing it, and he had a lot of passion behind it. He is pushing all of his projects aside to finish it up. So yeah, there was a video sent out today, which was on the 20th of August, teasing the Snurgle video. So I'm super excited. I can't wait. Like, I think I'm gonna cry. I don't know if I could do like a watch party because I'm gonna bawl my eyes out.
Live stream watch party.
Who wants to watch Snurgle cry?
Well, not for your tears specifically, but to see your like excitement and joy. Maybe that might be.
Yeah, maybe that's something that we could look into, doing like a watch party.
We can do. I mean, we've been talking about doing some live stuff, and we did have the results from our recent poll.
What was the result?
And overwhelmingly in favor of a pre-show, so a live pre-show. So we're gonna have to figure out
how we're
a consistent time and how we're gonna do it, and basically all of the details.
We did the poll, secretly. And that was it.
We were like, hey, this is something we should do. We should see if people would even want to watch it.
Oh shit, they actually want. Oh no.
It turns out some of y'all actually like the content we produce, so we will have to figure out how to produce more. Yeah. So we'll figure out the details of that in the coming days.
Which will be great, because like we were saying, or I was saying earlier, like it's hard when we're doing just this podcast and we don't have like ways to connect and communicate with the audience. And I'd love to hear what people are feeling and saying and sharing. So
and I said I completely disagree, and I don't want to hear from the audience. I
didn't want to like tell them. So
no, and I think we will be launching a Discord soon too, so ways to connect. Because I think we and I was mentioning to Snurgle as well. I've been thinking of some ideas for some more. Because you've got your whole like Instagram thing that's like super cool, and then I just post like bad pictures of bad paintings, and I gotta figure out my own thing. So I've got some ideas.
Yeah. And
they're gonna all be bad, but I'll drag you all on my journey as well.
Nothing's bad if it's doing it's good.
All right. Well, with that. Are we ready to wrap it up?
Yeah. We'll let the good folks leave with that. And if you are contemplating whether to go to MiniWarGaming or Tabletop Tactics Bar, just go. Just have fun. Meet these personalities.
I want to go to a Tabletop Tactics Bar, even if it's not to play Warhammer. That just sounds like a cool place to drink.
Even like MiniWarGaming, like I had someone local. He's actually there right now, and he was just asking about it. I don't know what it would be like, but I don't think they would have a problem if you would come by and just kind of check it out and see what the work that they've done. There is like a store front that is a little bit separate. So, but yeah, like just check it out. Have a peek.
There we go. And this was not sponsored by MiniWarGaming. This is just like purely Snurgle's like hype, excitement, like gushing.
The views expressed in this podcast are done by Snurgle and Snurgle alone, and not affiliated with MiniWarGaming.
It's just pure font of positivity. There was no cash exchange. Well, at least as far as I know.
I received nothing.
I got nothing.
I got it in warm fuzzies. That's what I got.
I mean, that's Doesn't heat your home, but heat your heart. And on that beautiful note, I'm going to thank you all for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe to Chaos Divided, both where you're listening from and on Instagram and YouTube. You can find us at Chaos Divided 40K, and you can find us both on social media at Nurgle_Snurgle and at BlushingNoiseMarine. And until next time, bye-bye.
Ciao for now.